So here's a practice of talking back to your ego and talking back to the egos personified in your life as in-laws or whoever else they may be. God bless them. So let's bring it first to how you speak to your ego. I want you to do this practice of just noticing every time it comes up. And this is a practice that we've done over and over and over again here, but I'm going to add to it. Big
Gabby.
show today, guys.
Happy to be with you.
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for a new generation of spiritual seekers.
I want to give you a practice of speaking back to your ego. Okay. And then, but let's just even the playing field right now by just saying his family's perspective. I want you to have a conversation with them the same way you have a conversation with your ego, because they often are the naysayers in our life, and those folks, God bless them, they're just ego personified, right? And it's not that we're judging them in any way, shape, or form. They're just kind of stuck. They don't have a spiritual practice necessarily. They may just really rely on worry as a way of staying in control. And we can have a lot of love and compassion for them. The same way we want to have a lot of love and compassion for those ego fear thoughts, but we don't want to take them on. We don't want to take ownership of them. Okay. And this is an instance where every ego moment is an opportunity to deepen your strength and strengthen your connection to love. Because the truth is that you are in a really great situation. When I saw your husband on the Zoom a few weeks ago and he was off to rehab, his hands were in the air. He was so proud to be going. I had a great moment with him where I could say, you're awesome, man. This is going to change your life. This is going to help your children forever. This is going to help your marriage forever. Like, we had a real celebration. And so I know, Riley, that in your heart and in your soul, you are fully grounded in the celebration of this rehab experience, that you know that it's for the highest good. And even though it's not easy to be home with a newborn and another little one, you've got a lot going on. That's a lot, but you're really knowing that the more you lean and choose to learn through love, the easier this experience will be. Okay. And this is an instance where I am actually not saying that these practices would in any way override your full-blown personal experience. Like, there's work to do, right? You might want to do some therapy when you're ready, do Al-Anon when you're ready, but you're doing both. You're doing Al-Anon, you're doing therapy, but in those day-to-day, moment-to-moment situations, you need sustainable energy. You need to feel like good no matter what. You need to show up for these kids. You need to be holding space for yourself and your own recovery through this. And the only way to do that is to lean towards love and to choose to see through the lens of love. So here's a practice of talking back to your ego and talking back to the egos personified in your life as in-laws or whoever else they may be. God bless them. So let's bring it first to how you speak to your ego. I want you to do this practice of just noticing every time it comes up. And this is a practice that we've done over and over and over again here, but I'm going to add to it. Okay. So it's the choose again method with prayer. So I want you to notice that ego thought when it comes up. And I want you to just feel it, notice it. Okay, there's my story that this is so hard. I'm with my kids and my husband's in rehab and this is so hard. And just notice where you notice it showing up in your body. Okay. And then I want you to take the second step of the choose again method, which is to forgive yourself for having the thought. And the moment that you say, I forgive myself for having that thought, you begin to no longer see that thought as who you are. You start to allow it to be transcended. You allow it to just transmute and be just another ego thought that's continuously showing up. And then the third step when we practice the choose again method is to choose again. But in your case, choosing again typically is reaching for the next best feeling thought, the next best feeling thought, the next best feeling thought. I can do that with you right now, which I will, but I want to add to it. So in your case, the next best feeling thought could be, my husband's in rehab and that's a great thing. I have Al-Anon and that's an even better thing. I have my sponsor. I have my therapist. I have healthy children. I'm in Hawaii. I'm doing good. I'm okay. So that's reaching for the next best feeling thought. But I also want to add to that. I want you to pray, because my love, there's power in your prayers. You are really, really allowing prayer to be your pathway, your conduit for choosing love. And so I want you to notice the thought and how it makes you feel. I want you to forgive yourself for having that thought and then choose again or pray, either one, because prayer is another form of choosing again. And so I just want to give you a simple prayer right now. And this is a prayer for allowing your ego to take a back seat. Okay. And we can just, and I want you to close your eyes with me for the moment, and we can just say this prayer together. Thank you, ego, for sharing. I choose to see this through the lens of love. And by the way, that prayer is the only response to your in-laws and the ego personified by saying very gently and lovingly to them with no judgment, thank you for sharing, but I'm choosing to see this through the lens of love. And so you're going to be in a very proactive practice of leaning back into that perspective of love, first honoring the feeling and the thought, forgiving yourself for going there, and then saying, thank you for sharing, but I'm going to see this through the lens of love. Do you want to know the secret to living a wonderful life? The secret to living a wonderful life is exactly what our card is saying today. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's happening in your life, that you choose to see your circumstances through the lens of love. Listen, I remember being 2 months sober, like detoxing off of cocaine and alcohol, pulling myself out of bed at 6:30 in the morning to get to a 7 a.m. meeting around the corner, walking into the meeting, literally like not knowing how I was going to keep my business afloat, not knowing how I was going to pay the bills, but just choosing every single day to lean towards love and say, I'm going to let this recovery show me something new today. I'm going to be grateful for this moment. I'm going to just thank God every moment for this experience. Allows me today, my love, to look back at those early days of my recovery as some of the best days of my life. Absolutely. Some of the best days of my life. 2 months clean and sober, pulling myself out of bed to get to the meeting, detoxing from drugs and alcohol. Some of the best days of my life, because I was so devoted and committed to lean towards love no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what is happening around us. What matters most is the perspective that's happening inside of us. So every moment of the day, we have to ask ourselves, how am I going to choose to see this? And just to reiterate what we talked about earlier with our first guest, you don't want to override your emotions. That's why I love step 1 of the choose again method, where you really let yourself notice your feelings and feel them and forgive yourself for going in the wrong direction. But then saying, thanks for sharing, but I'm going to choose to see this through the lens of love. I'm not going to really go there today. I'm going to just lean into that love. Okay. And in your therapy, baby, and in your meetings, in your Al-Anon meetings, that's where you can really go to the depths of getting all that muck and all that emotion out and cry it out and feel it out and say the truth and just speak the truth. And then in those day-to-day moments, you just continue to elevate yourself with the attitude of, what can I learn from this? What love is going to be revealed for me? And I'm going to let love show me what to do. That's another message for all of us listening today. We often want to be the ones that decide and dictate how things are going to go. But what if we just said, I'm going to let love show me what to do? All I have to do is just say, thank you for sharing to the fear, and choose to let love show me what to do. Wow. What if you went and looked at your life right now in this experience at 23 years old with these little babies at home in Maui, and kind of just keeping it simple, like they say in the steps, like keep it simple, as an opportunity to live one of the best moments of your life. Like thinking about me at 25, waking myself up, detoxing from drugs and going to that meeting. And I think my way back into those 7:30 a.m. meetings in the West Village in New York City. And I see myself, like all, 25 years old. And I was literally the youngest person in the room by 50 years, or like 40 years. And I think about that time and how much I cherish those memories. And I just think that you have the opportunity right now to really be in such a beautiful growth moment for your 23-year-old self, and to come out the other side and look back at your, I'm 41 now. When you're 41, look back and say, wow, Gabby was right. That was a very precious time in my life. And I hope that your husband has that same experience, you know, where he gets to look back on his recovery and say thank you to his recovery. And this is one thing I will tell you. He's getting clean and sober early. You're getting to Al-Anon early. You have a beautiful life ahead of you. I promise you that. And just stay clean. Tell him to stay clean and expect miracles. And you too, you know, stay sober in your ways, you know, with Al-Anon, the program. And you can only expect so many miracles ahead for you. If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.